This podcast is just fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research.
I'd lock the door too if I saw you coming.
Welcome
To
The
show.
I'm so
We
used to
got-
just listening to you guys say that I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
That's me. That's me.
Participate.
Whoops.
We all looked at you in anticipation.
I missed my cue. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try better next time.
We're all back.
Yeah.
Dude.
Gang's all here.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
We successfully didn't talk about
gang's
aliens
all
last
here.
week. Did you listen to
Or the
show?
week before.
I did. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
week-
good. I'm glad Phil was here as a bouncer because it started to get a little heated over here between you two, which was great. And then Phil's like, "Okay, you're both right. Stop."
Phil's our marriage counselor.
It was great. It was funny.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
goodness. You should have been here during some of the episodes when I was pregnant, man. It was just... Anyways.
I'm opening my caffeine.
Phil's like, I don't want to remember that.
No, I had a weird little glob of caramel come through my frappe.
Right behind you.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause
Phil's
shake
the
your
one
pink cup.
after
'cause Phil has
teasing
a
me
latte.
about
He has a
iced
latte in a
coffee.
pink cup.
Oh, the nose
Phil
on
has an
ice.
iced coffee, but
Apparently.
I have a can this
Shaved
morning.
ice.
No noise.
Oh, wait. Oh,
That's
Courtney
pretty
was-
good.
It's a good thing Courtney wasn't in the opening
you.
contest. She'd have beat
Courtney.
us.
I know.
That was
That's
pretty
what I was thinking the whole time that I was listening.
I can
Yeah.
do better.
She's like, nah,
Like,
I
yeah,
give that one a
that's
B.
fine.
I
That's
killed
fine.
that.
It was trash.
Yeah, whoever wins, they're really actually second place.
So
I know
funny
this.
story. I went upstairs to grab an energy drink, and I'm like, orange sickle. That's not my favorite flavor. I said, what else does he have? And he's got a box of Ghost up there. So I was like, ooh, a variety pack of Ghost. And I reached in there, and guess what's in there? Orange sickle.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed the other can in there, and guess what it was?
Orange syrup.
Orange sickle. Guess what I'm drinking today?
There was a whole other case that has the sour gummies and the white.
Oh,
Because I'm drinking the white haze.
I don't know what's wrong with you,
You
Mike.
dirty
That is
dog.
the best.
I would say that's
flavor
the best.
Of all
Oh.
of the
This one?
drinks. Yes.
It's not the best.
Okay.
It's top
I
five.
don't know. I mean, it's good.
It's-
I like it. It's not my
it's-
favorite.
The sherbet is my favorite.
The
Okay.
goat.
Let me
White
put it
gummy
this way.
bear is
But-
my second.
Okay,
and then
no,
that's
no, no.
probably my third.
That
of
is
the
the
ring.
most consistent flavor across companies
I would agree.
by far.
Orange.
Yeah.
There's
it
not.
never disappoints.
Yeah.
Nobody
the
makes
orange
a bad
creamsicle one.
Right.
Yeah.
I honestly, Bang's orange creamsicle might be my favorite.
I'm just weird about
good.
like
Or-
orange
what is it
flavor
called?
stuff. Like you ever
Orange,
had like the
Agent Orange or
chocolate
whatever.
oranges? I'm like, why are they putting chocolate with
Oh.
orange?
Well,
That's weird.
Well, that's not
You know,
good.
and I don't know. And like for me, like orange creamsicle
But no,
was always
like,
weird to me.
I always had like orange sherbet and like the orange
I
like
like orange
push.
chocolate too.
Oh gosh, I've mentioned it before, like the push-ups, not like the push-up pops, but you know, like the push-up ice creams.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Hey,
I will
you can eat a
maintain.
million
I
of
just call
those.
those push pops.
Hey,
That's why I saw a thing that said, "How many push-ups can you do?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe 12 if they're frozen right."
if they're slightly thawed. Hey, Courtney, you should explain Bill's cup.
I should explain. Why do you ask me to explain things? Where did this
good
come
at
from?
Good at
Because
it.
it's better for
No,
you to
I'm
do it
not.
than me.
It is a.
My wife made me a
It is
caramel frappe.
a
Don't explain yourself.
wonderful, dusty pink
Iridescent.
Ooh.
Iridescent
thermos.
pink.
Oh yeah, it's got some gloss on it. Yeah, it's kind of
It's also
glossy.
I guess it's also
Yeah, it's
catching
Beautiful.
the
It's got
lights.
like this golden and white striped straw.
It really brings the sparkle
Yeah.
out in Phil's
And-
eyes.
It
For
does.
sure.
And Phil making fun of me last week for that. Name a sound that's better than this. And then he brings the
And he comes-
frappuccino.
And he's
But
got,
he's
Here,
like,
listen, I'm
he's like,
shaking it.
my wife made it for me, and I just couldn't say no. And I was like, see, that's it. Like, you just don't say no to a nice coffee.
No, I don't say no to my wife.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
say no to
Good
my
save.
wife all the time.
I've heard you talk to her. You say no to her a lot.
You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know.
I
me.
hear how you talk to your wife.
Oh
Excuse
yeah,
me.
what is that supposed to be? Speaking of exaggerating,
I'm just gonna sit over here quietly as Courtney's picking on everybody today.
I am enjoying this. For once, I'm not the brunt of all of it. Let's keep it going. How else does he talk to his wife?
No man is safe from my criticisms.
I am no man.
Oh my gosh! I did see Ashley getting fish on the hook.
Oh
last night.
yes,
Oh.
yep.
I didn't recognize her until I was walking away, and I was like, "Oh hey, I could have been
Are we,
talking."
are we
to you.
shouting out to that food truck?
on
Brats.
the hook?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yes,
Because their
absolutely.
fish is good.
I
but
love
they
their
short
food.
you on fries.
Dude, they give us
Lately.
like
I'm
5
what?
fries.
I had 15 fries.
Yes.
It was
I
$2.
like you.
It was like,
If
what?
I can count how many fries
Not a
there
huge
is, there's
amount.
not enough
I
fries.
know.
Agree.
Yeah.
So like the one
But their
thing about
fish
the
is
wing-
amazing, and their
Yes.
tartar sauce, and then their chipotle mayo. is
Their sweet
amazing.
chili,
Such,
the sweet,
so good.
the sweet chili sauce. Dude,
All their sauces.
I mean, all their
are fire,
sauces are
but yeah,
good,
their
but
sweet
like their
chili is
sweet
really
chili is my sauce of choice for them, and oh my gosh, it's so good.
Do you
I
like on
agree.
the hook?
If you can count the
I've
fries,
never gotten on the. It's too.
I have
for
driven
fish,
to
it's too
Alliance
expensive
to
me.
get
Like,
it.
nah.
But
I've literally driven to Alliance to get it.
it's fresh. It's like legit
I-
fresh cod. It's good.
I
It is expensive.
somehow don't eat fish otherwise. So
My
I'm like, oh
favorite
cool,
food
I'm gonna have
truck,
some
and
fish
shout
in my
out to
diet.
This food truck because they're pretty awesome. But is Pineapple Express? Have you ever gone to the? You ever seen the Pineapple
They've only
Express
been to
food truck?
Shattern one time.
Yeah, see, they come to Alliance and stuff. First of all, the dude who runs it, he's just a cool dude. Like, he sees me coming up and he's just like a mahalo, like, cool guy. He gives me little samples and like, he's just fun to talk to. He's a good dude. But like, the food is very, it's a Hawaiian kind of based thing. So you got like poke and
I would go for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
banh mi
Ooh,
sandwiches
that
and
sounds
things
good.
like that. Like, it's good. It's very, very good. But like I said, the just how welcome you feel at a food truck is
Right.
weird. But in the best
Food
way.
That's
truck
actually
culture.
That's
Like,
part
food
of the
truck
reason.
culture, man.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I like the Wing It truck. That when the actual owner is the one running it, dude, he hooks you up too. Like,
Yeah.
when you get
yeah.
the special fries with the sauce on it, like that's how you get full on Wing It. Is like it's
Yeah.
like $5, and it's just this tray of fries.
Yeah, it's funny how
So
much
good.
like when you're looking for good food, that the service sometimes outweighs the food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
how good you get
Absolutely.
treated will bring me back more than if the food was
A lot
good.
of times, yeah. If your food is mid, but you treat me like I'm a king, I'll be coming back.
Yeah.
But if that's the one thing in Shattern, the food service is horrible here.
Yeah.
And we were like, whenever our boss would come from Lincoln, now our boss lives in Omaha, but when our Chi Alpha boss, I should say, would come from Lincoln, we were like embarrassed to bring him out because he'd literally be like, why do they treat you like they don't want you here? And I'm like,
no,
oh,
I
that's
agree.
normal. That's everywhere here.
Which
in
which
Shattern.
now there's
I
a
agree.
term for it. It's called the Gen
weird.
Z stare.
Yeah.
It
but-
is but Shattern,
But
it's,
it is
it's
like
worse than
it's
anywhere
so
else I've ever
pervasive
been.
here.
We were eating here, and I won't mention the restaurant because I don't want to put a bad
Never
name out. But we were at a restaurant as a family, and like mid order, the waitress just walked off, and we were like, "What?
Bro, what?
What just happened?" And then she like came back and brought drinks, and then walked off again. And we're like, "We're not done ordering yet." Like, yeah,
Weird.
Wow.
crazy.
We used to come to it doesn't exist anymore, but there was a restaurant that we had like worked out a special deal with, and they would just treat us horrible, and we're giving you money. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah, I don't want to name names because I don't want people to know stuff, but like we had one
That one
restaurant
doesn't
that like
exist
when
anymore, see?
right, that's true. But we had another one that's one of the like fast food restaurants that they would see us coming and then lock the door.
I'd lock the door too if I saw you coming.
Bro, but the energy we brought, like for our Chi Alpha,
Yeah.
it was so
we
fun. Like
cleaned
they
up
would
after
sing and like
ourselves and
we were
Yeah.
like, it was
That would
good.
be
fun.
It was a really good
That'd
energy.
be a good time.
And they would like, oh my gosh, you can't believe that. I'm in this ministry's here. Ah. Like literally, I heard him
voice. I
say
wanna
it
hear
just
more of
like that.
That's
It's like
crazy.
because you
can't
have to
believe they're
serve
here,
15
man.
people. Oh my goodness.
No, because you have to do your job.
And then you get to hang out in the back while we just like entertain ourselves and clean up after ourselves. Like it's not a big deal. Anyways,
Right, and why? And why is that-
we're starting to sound old.
why
We're
is
too
that
gripey.
a bad thing to be, regardless of like the context of what you're talking about and having fun with? Why is that a problem? Like, I don't.
Because everyone
See, as
believes they're the
demons.
main character. And
Okay.
just, I don't know.
I get it.
It's just like, ugh, you
get
made me work. I just
wanted to sit on my phone.
Yeah,
and do
because that's what
nothing
you do.
and get
Tanner's,
paid.
Tanner is a main character in my story. So you guys know.
Aw, you're not in.
I don't want to read that story.
He may be.
Like
he
a
may be.
footnote.
Okay,
He may be the villain sometimes, but he's definitely the main character.
I was saying because Mike was focused on
I have
me.
a quote just like that in one of my books. Just saying. Anyway,
I want to separate this. Mike was focused on me dogging on him at the same time as Courtney dogged on me.
you're catching strays from everywhere.
I was the distraction.
I was just vibing over here.
It was two for one
Got you
on
to
that
turn
one.
your shield this direction so she can get you.
The old lobbing drill.
guerrilla warfare tactics
See,
for criticism. That's my style.
I relaxed thinking she was going after you guys, and then
In
wham.
the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
Speaking of food, Phil, did you see that the pizza index spiked like hard
I
Oh,
did.
man.
last night?
I did.
I didn't until Caleb hit it in the Discord. I was like, all right, we got Caleb on board. He's watching things for us. So.
Totally. When
That's
Caleb
cool.
comes and visits the next time, we got to do an episode with him.
Yeah. Oh,
I
he'd
think
be
that'll be a
fun.
blast.
He'd be fun.
Interesting.
But yeah, I purposely wasn't putting it in there because I was like, we're going to talk about this. But when he posted it, it reminded me to go look at it again because I had saw it, but I didn't look into it. So shout out Caleb. It actually reminded me to look into it again.
I was going to
It
say,
spiked-
because do you just like watch it daily? Do you just like,
No,
let me check the weather, let me check the pizza index?
It'll pop. You can sign up, like even on just like Twitter. You can
nice.
pop up. You can sign up for to get all notifications for whenever it bing,
Yeah, that
tings,
makes
bings,
sense.
bings.
I'm so old. I wouldn't have thought of
Batings?
something like that.
But
Bongs.
Chenandler bong.
Chenandler bong. It DEFCON 1, which is like which DEFCON 1 is the highest that their pizza index goes, but it also is like high in the DEFCON 1, like one of the highest spikes they've ever seen.
Wow.
Meanwhile, at the same
Guess
time,
we'll see.
I
know what you're
Or maybe
saying.
we
the
won't.
ships have arrived to Venezuela. There was also some attacks in the very energetic region in the Western Middle East. To prevent from saying it. And then also there is flooding in Pakistan. Like 500,000 people are like under like flooding in Pakistan.
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
like
like
desert
all those
land
people-
flooding.
Yeah.
Huh.
I feel like there's a book. I was reading it that said that there'd be flooding in dry places towards the end. What book is that, Phil? What book is that?
I couldn't tell you.
Starts with a B. Pretty sure. Starts with a B. Rhymes with tribal.
BLE.
Tribal. Rhymes with tribal.
Did you see? And I'm asking you for confirmation here. They blew like a special horn on the Temple Mount.
They
The
did.
shofar.
They
Shofar.
blew a
I couldn't remember how to pronounce it, and I didn't want to butcher it. So
for the first time in 2,000 years,
Yeah.
the shofar has been blown on the Temple
You're not
Mount.
Pentecostal if you don't know what a shofar is.
Well, old Pentecostal.
I'm
Does that really
kidding.
exist in
Yeah,
the
no.
church? I haven't seen one.
No,
I've never seen
thankfully.
one live.
Sorry, no.
Apparently, in the denomination that we're in, it used to be a
guess I'm
trend
not
of-
Pentecostal.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure
People.
I have seen
It's-
one blown live.
I've never.
Yeah.
It's an older thing. Now
Yeah.
the
I think
the
somebody in
tramborine.
Alliance
It's akin
has
to
The-
like the
the
flag
rando.
waving and
Around
running down the
Sunday schools,
aisles in churches. It's all akin to that.
They're all in that
To
same
that.
kind of.
That's the association that people still have.
through
Okay, so
yes,
different
To-
means.
through motion and
to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt
Expression.
to my home church, my congregation was mostly a little bit elderly to be like dancing and bouncing around in the aisles.
yeah.
It's not that they didn't believe in it; they just the joints wouldn't take that anymore.
I get that. That doesn't stop some people.
That's
It's true. That's true.
See videos.
That's how you get slain in the
That's-
spirit. You throw a hip.
There, dude. Trying to remember names. There were some older guys that, yeah,
Let's
they
go.
would. Wow.
Phil just cracking himself up. I love it.
I didn't hear it, so I'll catch it in the when I record. I love every once in a while because like I'll be down here like editing, and then I'll be listening to the podcast, and I'll catch something that somebody said that was funny that I didn't catch, and I will be down here just gut laughing, and I'm afraid that I'm going to wake up the kids upstairs that are taking a nap.
I'm amazed at how much I miss of what people
For real.
say. It's insane.
Especially with a group of 4. Because
there's a
you
lot going
know
on.
somebody else can take the next
definitely.
moment, so you can focus on what you're wanting to talk about next. And or every once in a while, I'll catch myself like, I didn't have, like, I'll respond on the podcast, and I'm very clear, like, I have no clue what they just said. But I'm trying to keep the podcast going.
Right.
Because it's like there'll be like a split second pause, and then nobody says anything. So then I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. This.
I
And
noticed
then
that.
and it's like I'm just filling
crazy.
dead air.
You know who else does that? Courtney does that too. When there's dead space. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
But
do.
no
I
clue.
do.
A lot of hers
clue
are also
what we're talking about.
Hers that
man.
blends better for her because that's also a genuine reaction a lot
Right,
of
right,
times.
Well, it's funny because I was listening to last week's episode and I was at the gym listening to it, and I don't remember what part it was or what somebody said, but it made me laugh like LOL for real. Like I laughed out loud
real,
in
for
the
real?
gym, and I'm
Lol.
you're in the gym, you're trying to act a little gangster, right? And I'm over there giggling like a middle school girl, and everybody's looking at me all funny, and I had to pretend like I was listening to rap or something. 'Cause I was like,
No, that's when you just show them, like, you flex your jujitsu shirt and be like, I'll beat you up. Come on, come fight me.
You just embrace it, and you just kind of like head twitch. You're the crazy guy.
just make direct eye contact while I'm giggling. Yeah, there you go.
I did figure
That's
out
how you create gym nemesis.
just
That's one
Accidentally
way.
look at
That's one
them.
way.
just glare at them.
Gym enemies?
Prolonged eye
incessantly
contact while
through
you
the entire
giggle
time
at them.
you work out.
Wow.
We're both talking at the same time.
Yep.
It's nonsense.
I caught the last 4 words of what Tanner said.
I was just pure nonsense. Pure nonsense. Okay.
Wait.
Mike, you're a music guy. You strike me as someone who might listen to like Hans Zimmer or something like that while working out.
Not
Do you
at
ever
the
do that?
gym.
Not at the gym?
Nope.
No. Just
Usually
gotta
when I'm like,
keep that
I
in
listen
another
to my
part.
classical stuff, like when I'm like studying or I just need like background noise, like I'm doing lessons.
Oh, so that's where Tanner gets it. Because I'm like,
That's where I
why does
listen
he
to
listen to
classical.
classical music out of nowhere?
That might be like I don't know. There's a lot of
Shit.
things you
She
do.
dogs on
you
me.
do it because I do it, and I did it at some point.
I was just like,
It's
oh,
weird.
I didn't know that you knew.
He was
what
my
that
first mini me.
I didn't. Know
I'm
that
not
you knew
allowed
who
to have my
Vivaldi
own
was.
personality.
That's what I was going
No,
to
you're
say.
not.
I was going to
No.
say, you're not allowed to have an original, like, way to do
Oh,
things.
Tanner has something that's not
A rip-off of something
No,
else.
Tanner's doing
So
something that's not a
sorry.
Neanderthal thing. Oh, he must have got that from somewhere.
He must have ripped it off his brother.
Must have got that from somewhere.
Tanner lift weights. Tanner speak
Okay.
Bible.
Okay.
Tanner lift heavy things. Lift heavy things.
That's me.
Anything refined is like, where do you get that from?
I've heard you analyze poetry before. I know that's you. You can't just make that up. So
Oh man,
I'll give you that.
I do dig
You have a
poetry.
beautiful
Big
soul.
old dude. He is
got a
very
beautiful soul.
sensitive and in
Sensitive.
touch with his emotions.
Yeah.
He really is.
It's got like a little gooey center, and then
He does.
Yeah.
He's like
little
just
little
squishy.
marshmallow center,
Gooey outside.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
and then the outside is just
He's
Debates
like so like
gym
letting the
references
bear straight
and-
out. It's great.
protein shakes. And yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. I'm all blushing.
We might not be
Probably
talking
not.
about anything today now.
Oh, but yeah, Pizza Index is spiked. Speaking of
Takes
gooey,
us so long. to
speaking
get
of
through
gooey
one
warm
bullet
centers, Pizza Index.
Ah. No. Shouldn't be gooey.
Yeah, it should be crispy.
Good undercarriage.
Oh my goodness. See, this is why
Zero flop.
we're so good at like coming up with a
Yeah.
topic and never talking about the topic.
It's
I
funny.
love it.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely
because
love
I came back, huh?
There's been episodes where the actual topic is like the last 15 minutes of the whole show.
I know.
Let's not.
I
do
thought
that
I was
today.
going to be able to keep us on topic, and I'm not.
I want to hear what Mike has to say about the topic that we
had selected.
that we've
tried to
waited
talk about 3
now?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About aliens.
Okay. Well,
Once
let's
again,
get it started. Okay.
Since I came
Okay.
back.
All right. So I was watching this show. I was watching it on HBO Max. It's called the Alaska Triangle. Have you guys heard of it?
I have not.
I've heard
So-
of the one from Bermuda.
So the Bermuda Triangle's got nothing on the Alaska Triangle. Okay. Like legit.
Wait, I have heard of it now. That look you made.
No, you don't get to change.
Now I know. I know what you're talking about. Okay, go.
So the Alaska Triangle has had 16,000 people go missing in it in the last 20 years alone. 2,000 planes in the last 20 years. That's more than a plane a week. Goes missing. Not like wrecks.
I didn't know
Goes-
the stats on that.
Missing in the Alaska Triangle in the last 20 years alone. It averages around 2,500 people who go missing per year. Now keep in mind the population of Alaska is only 740,000 people. So that means 1 out of 300 Alaskans goes missing every year.
But is it always Alaskans though? Is it like vacationers and people who are visiting?
Yeah, because people vacation.
Right.
in
Which is
Alaska.
which is my one hang up of
And
not going to
scientists
visit
and things
Alaska.
like that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a
It
lot of
looks-
topographical, exploration type things.
Yeah,
yeah,
too,
yeah.
that
But-
they disappear too.
Compared to the population in the Bermuda area and the amount of travel that goes on in the Bermuda Triangle, the amount of people who go missing in the Bermuda Triangle compared to the Alaska Triangle is like between 3 to 5 times more people go missing in the Alaska Triangle than the Bermuda
Well, and
Triangle.
what's the rate of like traffic there? What I want to know.
Significantly less than
I was
the
going to
Bermuda
say
Triangle.
what I want to know is like
crazy.
the percentage of flights that go through that area
Yeah.
that go missing.
Right. Well, and the Bermuda Triangle also has
It
boats.
sounds like a lot.
Here's
And there's no boats going through the Alaska Triangle.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you've got extra means of travel that don't exist in the Alaska
What
Triangle.
part of Alaska is this, and how big is the triangle?
So it basically is just like over the bulk of the Alaska, not including the places where people actually live, really. So it's like, so you've got
So it's like the
Alaska kind of like
wilderness area.
Alaska kind of comes down
Right.
like this. So it's like this area.
the big
so-
middle tundra area.
Very much so, yeah. And it spikes. And so the mass
He's
the,
making the Illuminati
Illuminati.
sign.
Hey, don't tell people that. See, hidden secret. I'm really glad that we're not on video right now because people would be like screenshot it.
How do you think?
I know, right?
These guys are part of
How do you think I was thinking last week with my little?
Okay, how do you
Diamond. That's
triangle?
Diamond,
That's a
Diamond,
diamond.
Diamond
How do you-
Dallas Page. He was getting ready
I
to.
can't do it without doing that.
DDP
There you go.
somebody.
We'll do this.
Now he's throwing gang signs. All right.
How do you do it without making the Illuminati? Stop it. Okay, so that's like this. So you've got the tip of it.
Well, we've got the mood lighting going on here.
The tip of it is the only part that is over the permafrost zone, really. So the bulk of the area is the bottom, not over the permafrost area.
Okay.
So I got a couple thoughts while you're still thinking.
And I have one specific story that I want to share about.
Okay, let me
this
tell my
after
thoughts,
you
and
get
then
done with that.
while you're prepping for the story. So, a couple of thoughts. I haven't heard anything about the Bermuda Triangle in probably decades.
Yeah.
Like it was like all the time, like this
Yeah.
plane and that plane, and I haven't heard it in forever. So number one, I'm like, did like the Bermuda Triangle, did something shift? Like we talked about the ocean shifting, things like
Right,
that. Did it
right.
shift and all of a sudden it's in Alaska? It's the same phenomenon, but it's in Alaska. Here's the other thing. A lot of when the Bermuda Triangle was happening, when that was huge and like you heard about it all the time, they were like, oh, did they crash into the ocean and we just can't find the wreckages because it's in the ocean? This is like over land.
Yeah,
Over,
you'd
like
be able to
frozen
see
tundra.
the-
Like you would be able to see all this wreckage, and there isn't any. So
Yeah.
that's
Is it
interesting.
over tundra or is there mountains there?
All of the above.
Okay.
It's over
Yes.
everything. It's mountaintops. It's over
It's your
ice
it's that
fields.
wilderness where
Mountains
people
would make
don't.
sense.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. How far back does this go? Like, how long have planes been going missing? In this?
Yes.
Okay.
But they
The Wright
really,
brothers disappeared into there.
It goes back a long ways, but the statistics I shared were only the last 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. So 16,000 in the last 20 years. 2,000 in the last 20 years.
Wow.
So the numbers are significantly higher than that even, but it goes back to as long as planes have existed. But also, one fun fact this isn't the story I was going to share, but the people of Alaska, the natives of Alaska, all share a common belief in, I guess I'll put it that way, of Bigfoot and being a evil creature that attacks them. And so like there's so many stories. I was watching
I heard one of the quotes because you had the Alaskan Triangle series that you're talking about. You had it on last night, and someone who was interviewed said the Alaska Bigfoot will rip you in half. And I was like, oh, cool.
It's like,
all right.
And it's not, kind of going to how we always talk about how not in America, in the Eastern and like Africa and stuff like that, they talk about the mystical as though it's commonplace. Yeah.
Right.
Alaska's another one of those places where the mystical is commonplace. It's not, it's like Bigfoot exists. He has done these things. We can see the evidence of what he has done, like ripping out trees and throwing them and stuff. And so like they'll just come on a tree that's like not where it's supposed to be. And it's just like way far away. It's like, how did it get there? And like, this is just commonplace. They just don't even really they just don't acknowledge it. They just kind of move on with their life, which is crazy to me. Also, even kind of thinking about, so I was listening. Oh my gosh. This is kind of a rabbit trail. I wish I would have remembered what podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about how during the Renaissance, there was this big period of enlightenment where everybody wanted to be like noble and secularized and like intelligent and smart. And so there was this big shift where prior to the Renaissance, they would talk about the mystical things like the creatures and the stuff like that. The way they talked about them was these are real stories. Mm-hmm. And then the Renaissance happened. And then after that, all of a sudden we began naming them fairy tales. Mm-hmm. But the stories, the real stories were still being written in the same way. We just classified them different pre-Renaissance, post-Renaissance as enlightened people. Mm-hmm. And so what if those circumstances never stopped happening? We just stopped paying attention to them as being real because we listen to them. Like when someone brings up a Bigfoot story, we listen to it with skepticism rather than this is a real story that happened.
Right.
But if somebody comes
because
and
rational people don't believe in Bigfoot.
Right. But if somebody comes and is talking about we threw, we're trying to think of what the Hadron Collider, they're atoms. There we go.
Yeah.
So the other day we were flinging atoms at each other and they exploded and created light. And in 2012, we almost created so much power it could have ended the world. It's like, we don't look at that and go, are you really throwing atoms at each other? So we approach the science stuff as this is fact stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we approach the mystical as though, oh, this is just fairy tale. You're crazy.
Yeah.
We approach it
the
with
scientific
I
community
like you
doesn't
say
lie
that
to us.
because of all my like alien type stuff that I brought to talk about in a bit is very much like that. It's very much what this could that really are they really doing that? Are this really happening? But I mean it fits. It's interesting. So.
And ever since pre-thought process, okay? Before I started looking at aliens as being demons, I would approach any alien story with huge skepticism. But ever since I've kind of shifted my thought process and I think of aliens as demons, I now approach it from a little bit different of a thought process. There's still skepticism there, but it's not as like, there's no way this could happen kind of skepticism. It's more like, if this did happen, it was most likely demons kind of thought process, which also creates a narrative in and of itself. But, so let me tell you this story. In 1950, this was kind of start of the Cold War. Tensions were high, and you're thinking Alaska. Alaska's that frontier where there's only like, 59 miles or something like that separate Alaska from Russia.
Yeah.
And so we've created the atomic bomb, okay? And there is a plane, a C-52, that is carrying an atomic bomb. And it is theorized that it was also carrying the very first hydrogen bomb that America had ever created. It disappears in the Alaska Triangle. To this day, it still has not been found. Oh. So there is an atomic bomb somewhere just chilling in the Alaska Triangle if it crashed.
Don't go walking there barefoot or
They're
anything.
missing. So now the amount of money that the government spent to try to retrieve this thing, because imagine how, like, it's a missing atomic bomb.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
This thing just flat out disappeared. spent millions and millions of dollars in 1950 trying to find this, I think it was C-54, that was carrying an atomic bomb and possibly the first ever hydrogen bomb. And just gone. Just absolutely just disappeared. And there were theories of people who had seen some things weird in the sky that night. And the theories of those people were that aliens came in and were like, you guys are starting to go too far with this stuff. And they just like disappeared it to never be seen again. And because there were like wreckage, like you're talking about, the amount of money that went into looking for this thing, it didn't disappear during a storm or anything like that. The amount of money that went into looking for this plane going missing over this period, this area, it is a big area, but they knew where the flight was taking place. I mean, it was a very well documented, very best of the best pilots in this.
Well,
thing.
Yeah, when you're transporting, an A-bomb, I mean, you want to make sure you know where it's going.
And and not only the atomic bomb, but also the first possible. And now it's conspiracy theory that it was carrying the first hydrogen bomb, but it was right about that time period. And the amount of it, just the circumstances around it. The theory is it was also carrying the H bomb. So at the very least, it was carrying one of the first atomic bombs too. And it's just gone. It's just crazy to me to think that, not only have you ever looked at how many atomic bombs are just missing?
No.
It's more than one.
I've never had a reason to look that up.
It's
But
more
it is
than
interesting.
one.
I haven't
But there is
looked
this
into it, but
specific one.
I think I have seen a statistic on that.
I've seen something
and
on it.
it's-
Yeah, I agree, Vince.
More than a couple.
Interesting. All right, so aliens, huh?
Yeah.
All right, which direction you want to go? Because I can go. This is going to get deep. This is going to get real deep. Because boy, just rabbit hole after rabbit hole. That was perfect timing on that.
There we go.
Courtney's settling in for this one. Okay.
Wait, before
Round
you get
two.
going, I've got this. I've got it pulling it up.
Oh, okay. Go.
Okay. So between just 1950 and 1980, the U.S. experienced 32 nuclear weapons gone missing. 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and never recovered during that period. But they estimate that during the whole time that the U.S. has made nuclear bombs, that just in the U.S., just during the Cold War, 50 were missing. And the Soviets have around 40 missing. So the estimate is that there's over 100 atomic bombs missing.
What if they're not really missing? What if they're just because we didn't want to document that we have them? We've got them hidden like over in,
There's a-
Scotts
What if
Bluff
we
and-
used them
bunker.
against aliens, but we didn't want that on record? Dang it! I'm sorry. Did I spoil something?
No, not at all. I am excited to talk about that, but I want to give Mike a chance because I've been talking a lot already.
All right, you ready?
Send it.
All right, so do we want to? I'll let you guys kind of decide. Do we want to talk about? Well, you know what? I think I can get into both. So, both angles that I kind of fell into. So when I was looking at like the possibility of aliens coming from other planets, when you think about how the speed of light works and how, how far away we are from the other planets and how long it takes for light to travel. So when we're looking at the sun, we're actually not looking at the sun right now.
Right.
We're looking at
In the
8
past,
minutes
Right.
ago.
right?
Yeah.
So if you consider, some of these galaxies and stuff where they've seen habitable planets, they're like, 100,000 light years away. Mm-hmm. Even if they're looking back, they're seeing Earth 100,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're not seeing us now.
Right.
So
They're
crazy.
seeing us before,
Yeah.
like way back 100,000 years and even further. So there is possibility if life was, is on other planets in this galaxy, they don't know that we exist. And in some cases, the Earth didn't even, according to scientists, Earth didn't even exist at the time they're looking in our direction. Second of all, there's so much out there. Like we have to use AI to even discover some of these galaxies that we've come across that have habitable planets because there's just so much exponentially so much to look at, So we've talked about it before where maybe aliens come from, they're internal, and now Tanner talking about aliens and demons, potato if we're taking that angle. So like we call Phil, Philip and Bill, and we call them all these names. He's still the same person. So no matter what you're calling it, is it the same entity? Is it the same creature? Right.
Right.
So that's one angle that I kind of took. Now, remember we talked about, and a lot of this stuff we talked about on the show, remember we talked about black holes briefly and how there was that, they realized it sucked all that light in and then it started spitting light back out. So there's a new theory that our galaxy exists within another black hole. That we are actually in a black hole, and the expansion of our universe is us coming out of that black hole.
Oh.
On like an exponential level, which explains why the universe is constantly expanding, because it is kind of folding onto itself. Right? So this is a new theory that's been coming out with black holes, right? So to go even deeper, talk about a little bit of quantum science. I don't know. Phil, how much you know about quantum science?
Not enough to talk about it.
I didn't either. So I started digging in this, and
I don't even know
like
what
that they put a lot
quantum
of things in, yeah.
You're talking at like a submolecular level, like the makeup of the things that make things up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Think of the quantum realm in...
Yeah. And it was...
There you go.
Yeah.
And so they are starting to study these this quantum science, quantum math, all these things on a deeper level. And so they are starting to discover different types of quantum particles as they start to come across stuff. So something that has been studied quite a bit is quantum entanglement.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I think in Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. And so quantum entanglement is when two particles, they become entangled, and you can separate them by any amount of space, and they are still entangled.
There's still some resonance between the two of them.
They still react, right.
Yeah.
So if something was, let's say we take two particles and we put one 100,000 light years away, that space is irrelevant.
Yeah.
That is a dimension that it crosses. So if I were to send information from one particle to that particle, it would take 100,000 years. If they are quantum entangled, it happens simultaneously. Oh. So if I destroy one, the other one automatically disappears. Right? And they've proven that with the collider and everything else. They've proven that this is a real thing, that you can entangle particles and they will react to how the other one is being treated.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Right?
Right.
Now, here's something they noticed as they're looking at particles. Some of these particles were disappearing without doing anything to the other particle. And so at first they thought, well, maybe they're just detangling. And so they started thinking about it. So there's a new theory, and they haven't had a chance to test it or prove it, but there's new theories that what is happening is actually those particles are they're calling them Jinn particles. And I sent you sent Tanner some information.
Yeah, and then we got an argument about what a Jinn is.
I have a question. Okay. And this does not relate to, it's not relevant.
It's interesting calling it.
Right.
But when you say they haven't had a chance to test it, were they busy doing something else more important?
I think just the science, they don't.
Or they just
they're
haven't
not
got.
quite sure how to test it. I'm pretty sure I don't know for sure, but to me, that makes the most sense.
They don't have the means.
I was just like, what were they?
Test it.
Sorry, had to take care
Labor
of
Day
my
weekend.
dog.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Well, that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Couldn't get around to testing.
Or maybe they don't want
And I
to.
actually came across, because we had the discussion why they call Jinn particles Genie particles, and I'll explain why that name is, and it's related to Disney. You're going to love this.
Oh.
What? That makes me feel so comfortable.
Yeah, you're going to love it. Okay, so let me get there, though. Okay, so we got these Jinn particles. Like I said, this thing goes deep. So we got these Jinn particles. Now, what Jinn particles do is that because we figured out quantum entanglement gets rid of the dimension of space, distance, right? Mm-hmm. Jinn particles get rid of time as a dimension. So how that works is, this was the best explanation that I came across. I was like, this makes so much sense. So the movie Back to the Future. Okay.
Yep.
Marty McFly travels back 30 years.
Yep.
And he's at a high school dance. And he gets up and gets ready to play the guitar, and he says, you don't know this one yet, but your kids are going to love it. Mm-hmm. And he plays Johnny Be Good. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Chuck Berry's brother is the band leader. He gets on the phone with Chuck Berry. Right? Mm-hmm. Says, Chuck, you got to hear this song. Plays it for him, right? Now that song exists because Chuck Berry heard it. But Marty McFly heard it because Chuck Berry wrote it.
Right.
That song was neither created nor destroyed. It exists in that 30-year time frame as a tool for the changes and things that happen in the movie to occur. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, there's another one. There's another movie that kind of explains, another time travel movie that kind of explains it. So Christopher Reeve, after he did Superman, he wrote this movie. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe look it up.
Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Somewhere in Time. He's familiar. All right. So
I'm going to get so much crap for knowing that.
I love it. I'm glad you remembered. So this locket, he's this college professor, and this older woman comes up, gives him a locket, and says she's in love with him and stuff like that. Well, he wants to find out who she is because he doesn't see her again. So he holds on to the locket. He's working with some of the scientists at his university, and they create a time machine. Goes back in time, and he meets her, falls in love with her, and gives her the locket. So the locket that she gave him, he gave to her. That locket doesn't exist outside of that time loop.
Origin story.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they think that some of these particles that are just disappearing, they only exist within this time loop.
Yeah. There's details incorrect about that, but
Okay.
the movie, that's not
In
relevant
general.
to
And I haven't seen it in so long.
I
That
get
was just
concept,
like
yeah.
But yeah,
Is this the whole
I always thought of that as I just called that a paradox, and it's the
Yeah.
fundamental
Right.
flaw with most time travel movies.
Right. And
as far as
it is. But
if you're talking
that's what
quantum
they're
theory
using to explain that weird, like these particles that only exist in a certain amount of time that have a certain function.
right.
right?
And they always exist in this time, but they were neither created nor destroyed. So it's a theoretical thing. Now,
Right.
the reason, go ahead.
I was going to say that pulls into questions of time. Like my theories of God is that because God is outside of time, he can see along all of time. One of the ways we compare time is like we're looking at it like a line on a piece of paper, but God sees time differently in that, he can take the paper and he can, actually take the line off of the paper, and he can go back and forward, and he can see all things at all times.
Yeah.
And so if there were something caught in that loop, so to say, of the time, I mean, really, you would, if time is only a construct that God created for us, then things would have to exist outside of that time. Therefore, everything that exists inside of time is technically one of those loops.
Right.
Until that concept of time, until the I don't know if you want to call it curse of time, maybe. Because, I mean, time really started when Adam and Eve, but anyway,
Burden?
So let's call it, the burden of the curse of time. So when that curse was placed upon us, that then would have started the loop of us being stuck in that time. And if that curse is then lifted, those things could then exist outside of that time because they could exist now without that same constraint of being stuck in the loop.
Well, and so
Sorry, I'm
No. Go ahead.
My problem with the theory of time travel has always been, I don't think it could exist as a thing that we make, right? But I've always operated under the assumption that God would not want us to do that. But if God, or if you're not acknowledging the existence of God, whatever extraterrestrial being, supernatural being has control over that, wanted it to be there, what's to stop them from inserting a tool like that? Or if
right.
Because,
I see what you're saying.
what's the movie where someone explains like a wormhole as like they fold a piece of paper over and they stick a pencil?
Stranger
to
Things?
Is that
No,
Stranger Things?
No,
There's a
no,
lot of
that's
movies.
the
There's a
that
lot
is-
of
that
movies
is
that
Flea on
make
the-
that-
okay. Oh, yeah,
that make
yeah,
that.
It's not a
Okay.
wormhole, but that's how they
Yeah.
There's a
reach the
lot of
upside
movies
down.
like Fold in
Yeah.
Time, and they
But
Sphere, I think that's-
so in that example, or those examples, that kind of example, they're folding space, like you were talking about with
Right.
quantum entanglement. What if you did the same thing with time?
right.
Is that kind of what we're?
Yeah, that's
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 kinda where you're
what
going
we're
with.
talking
Okay.
about. So
have you seen the movie Sphere?
maybe yes.
So
it's where, yeah.
I know I've read the book, and I don't
it
remember
like
if
with
the
the
movie
ocean
is.
and-
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
okay,
if the
yeah.
movie goes into it as much as the book does. But the book, basically, they come upon this ship, and they're investigating the ship, and then they realize that everything in the ship is in English, and they're like, "That's weird. Why would they do that? Why would everything be in English?" but it's so far advanced that, they're like, clearly this isn't us. Maybe they must have transcribed everything because they knew maybe they crash landed on Earth on purpose and all these other theories. And then there's a sphere in the middle and whatever. Then they find out the sphere is like a huge power source, and it's basically capable of creating a rip in space and time. And then they eventually find out that this actually is a ship. Spoiler alert, sorry, you can stop listening if you want to go read the book, but the ship actually is from America, but they are using the ship to then create technology that is making it capable to create the ship. Therefore, the ship had to exist in order for them to create that technology. If the ship didn't exist, they could have never created that technology.
It's giving
another example.
Interstellar vibes.
But they added in the element of the power source that was so great, it could then rip space and time.
Yep.
And that's honestly part of what they're discovering with the Hadron Collider is that they're trying to create black holes, which then create enough energy that can almost emulate that rip in space and time.
And the science in Interstellar, I'm glad you brought that up, is like that is actual science. Like the closer you are to high mass, the time around you speeds up.
Yeah.
Like planes,
it actually does. And they prove that.
Yeah, because they can put a clock on in outer space on a plane or whatever, and when it lands, it'll be different time.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't watched Interstellar, please watch that movie.
It's a trip. You got to watch it more than once.
I made it halfway through, and then guess what? I fell asleep.
You got to watch it more than once to actually.
Okay, but like,
you really do.
Even this stuff, it's like my brain gets overloaded so quickly. I'm like, okay. So I think that's what happened.
I know,
because it was a great movie.
Yeah,
it was just like my brain was like, yeah, you can't understand this, but I don't know. I need to watch it.
It is like
again,
dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
So, so these so anyway, the Disney connection, genies, according to legend, live outside of time, much the same way that demons, angels, and everything else do. Interesting. Anyway, in the movie Aladdin.
Oh yeah, you're going to talk about it. Yes. Okay.
In the movie Aladdin, the genie, even though this takes place, there's theories that like Aladdin takes place in the future after an apocalypse thing, because the genie has all kinds of 80s and 90s references, right? But
10,000 years.
But the Jinn theory says that the reason he has all those is because he doesn't exist anytime, and that was the height of culture. That was the height of entertainment culture. So him entertaining, he's pulling from entertainment culture, and time doesn't mean anything to him. So it doesn't matter that nobody gets what he's talking about. He gets it, because he doesn't live in time. He's passing, it's weird. Time is a construct from our brains to understand things changing. For instance, think about when you were in
why does that sound like a really cool D&D character? Anyways.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to create.
Like the genie that can pull references from different timelines and stuff. And
cool. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Right. Sorry, go ahead.
No. That's cool.
That's actually a really cool character.
Yeah.
Campaign time.
That got me distracted. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But that's the idea, is like he pulls from different times and doesn't exist necessarily in that time, because time doesn't make sense. So think about time being relative and things. When you were in elementary school, a year of elementary school seemed like it took forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about how fast a year goes by now.
I'd rather not. Thank you very
Having
much.
kids, it goes by even faster.
Goes faster the
have a
older we get,
5-month-old.
because we have more memories and more things to compare it to. We have more change
Right.
to compare it to, so time goes faster for us. The concept of time, the understanding our brain has of time, goes by quicker. And so if we could exist outside of that time, that might be kind of interesting. So seems really unrelated, and I don't know how this connects with aliens, because kind of the direction I was going was, because there's always those questions of, did we come from other planets? Because humans don't really match up to the rest of the creatures on this planet. Yeah. So there are a group of geneticists that live in China. They are civilization geneticists. That's really hard to say. Say that one, Tanner.
What'd you say?
Civilization geneticists.
Civilization geneticists?
Good job. He's good.
Did it? I had to ask you because
good. So what they do is they study genetics from the angle of, can we figure out where all these people came from genetically, right? and they have figured out, pulling all this genetics from millions of people, probably the all those
23andMe ancestry,
right?
Yeah. Not sponsors.
But they looked and they figured out that we all on the entire planet come from a population of about 12,000 people. And at one point, humans were almost extinct from this is their theory from a scientific standpoint, is the humans were almost extinct. And there were about 12,000 left on the entire planet. And then there was a technological change and an explosion where we had a population explosion. And now we're up to over 8 billion. Now, depending on your theory, those 12,000 people could easily be the Adam and Eve biblical beginning of humans on the planet, created by God, kids. Noah's children and their descendants. It could be a lot of things that. So, now the quantum thing got me thinking, what if these 12,000 humans were actually in our future, when we're considering time, we break down the time wall and we figured out how to unlock the quantum realm, and we accidentally created a Jinn world, a Jinn particle world, where those 12,000 people are from the future, but we just keep living in this time where we recycle and we live the same lives over and over again.
So I actually am going a different. Sorry.
No, you go.
I'm going a different route with this, thinking biblically on this. And so one of the big questions is when
I think we're thinking of the same thing. Go ahead.
Well, when Cain killed Abel, and he's like, "Oh, you'll be subject to the people," and it's like, what people?
Yes.
Where did they come from?
That's what I was thinking.
What if God just took people and put them there from the future, even though they time wasn't relevant in the sense that even though Adam and Eve and their kids still because they sinned, their days were numbered. But God then transported them to an age where there was 12,000 people, so that there were people outside of that tribe.
Right.
And
how easy would that be for him to do, knowing that he lives outside of time and space?
Yeah.
Just to say, you are my 12,000 chosen people. You're going to go, we're going to take you back here, and boom, here we are. We're going to start humanity at this point in what you understand as time. I had the same thought. And my brain hurt after I thought about that.
I was going to say,
because I was like,
I have a headache now.
That is weird.
That was actually the part
crazy.
out of everything we talked about. That's actually the thing that's made the most sense to me, though.
Yeah. Right.
Everything else is hard for me to grasp.
To me, that I'm bugged me from a young age was if he went off and found other people, where did these people come from? And there's lots of theories that it was his cousin or his sister and some other things, that you have people that could have existed at the time. But if there were just 12,000 people that showed up from the future to create humanity,
it's not really.
That also could explain.
And they're not really from the future. If you don't believe in time, they're just people that existed that we are shifting.
Well, and that's the thing, right? That's I think your note early on about the tool in the story is important. It didn't come into existence; it just existed.
It just exists.
And it's so hard for humans to fathom how that works, because it's outside of our laws of thermodynamics and space and time, and it breaks everything that is the entire paradigm for how our
entire existence
exists
within 3 dimensions, and to think that there are other dimensions is really hard for us to wrap our mind around.
Right.
Well, and thinking to the Nephilim and how it's saying they existed before and after, maybe the flood was the cleansing fact, but the reason they existed after was because the construct of time wasn't up.
Now imagine the demons. Imagine the demons and the enemy, all that stuff. They have access to that same possibility. They have that. I don't want to call it technology necessarily, because it's not. I don't know. It's spiritual. It's not like you can hold it in your hands. But imagine they have that same thing, and they can take their people from the future and plant them through time, as in certain places where they need them to be, and that is the spiritual battle. So just another fun kind of angle to try to do from a science. Because I always look at science. Tanner and I talk about this a lot, that science was created to prove that God exists, not the opposite. And humans have spent so much time using science to try to disprove God, and religious leaders trying to disprove science, when they just fit so nicely together if you just take a step back and kind of look at things, But
I don't know why, but the way you said spent so much time, just it hits different when you think about the way we're talking about time. Time really is a resource. Yeah. And it's not so much when you think about it that way, it's a resource that you have access to, but only so much per movement thing you're doing, whatever. Right. And it feels different when you're thinking about it, instead of just a plane that you're in, like a line that you're riding along, but something that you can actually be using to accomplish things.
So when they invented antimatter, because antimatter was an idea they came up with in comic books, and then scientists were like, let's see if we can create this thing.
There's so many things like that.
It's so scary. Because antimatter actually, all the properties of matter are reversed in antimatter. So actually, negative charged particles become positrons when they are antimatter. Positrons move through time backwards. And I don't know how to explain it, but the scientists all say positrons move through time backwards. They don't move forward in time. Positrons move backwards in time, and they get destroyed backwards. And it's a weird thing. And then so part of the reason with the antimatter, when it meets its matter counterpart, part of the reason it's such a dangerous tool is the weapons you can make out of that thing are ridiculous. I heard one of the scientists explaining, because they used E equals MC squared. So you would take the mass of both particles, right? Take the atomic mass of both particles, and you multiply it times, because the C is the speed of light. That's what that represents. So you multiply that times the speed of light squared, and that's how much energy it creates. So imagine having a teaspoon of that and it touching its counterpart. The explosion that would happen, the amount of energy would blow up. You know what I mean? It's a dangerous thing. But like I said, they've already proven that time is not linear, that it doesn't move forward all the time. Certain things move backwards in time. It's weird.
And this is the science aspect. And you throw in some government aspects of, the UAP hearings that they just had again, the second round last month or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys have you talked about that yet?
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
The bulk of it was just regurgitating the same things from the year before.
Oh. They're just saying, listen to us.
But they did bring up two different concepts. They did talk about the concept of them being interdimensional. Oh. Which, again...
that's how I describe them in my book.
And then the second thing was they brought up the Kona Blue or whatever, which was either the reverse engineering thing, or they would bring in people to train them how to reverse engineer things that they had already created, to see how well they could reverse engineer it before they would then adopt them to the real things, which would be top secret and they'd never be able to talk about. And so the Kona Blue, my understanding of the Kona Blue was they were reverse engineering things that they had already built that were already technologically advanced, so that even if they did leak it, it wouldn't be the most current generation of technology that we have. But they would see how well they could reverse engineer something, and then the best of the best would then get thrown into the black programs, and basically their identity would disappear. Because then they would be actually reverse engineering the quote-unquote UAP technology. Or they then graduate to having conversations with interdimensional beings. One or the other.
I'm really glad I'm getting out of here in 24 days.
Dude, okay.
I'm out of energy. I think I need some dubby.
Super huge caveat. Code BA Bigfoot.
I just had a crazy thought.
Let me finish this really quick.
Phil punched me right in the brain.
Yay!
Hold on.
I'm so proud.
On the post, speaking of the video or the podcast from last week talking about the rapture possibly in September. Yeah. Okay. The amount of people commenting on the videos and the posts that very clearly didn't listen to the episode or the post is maddening. If you are a Christian and you are commenting on videos based off of the title of the video, stop it. I am rebuking you in Jesus' name. Stop it. You are the problem. Because the amount of people who are commenting just purely didn't listen to it, didn't watch it, has no clue what's
on the UAP stuff.
No, on the
rapture stuff.
On the rapture stuff. Okay. Okay.
Commenting stuff who never listened to it. They're commenting to comment and creating arguments in the comments. I just started deleting your stuff.
Or is it just bots?
It could be, or I'll be honest, the amount of Christians I know who do that kind of stuff, it's alarming.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Stop it. Just move on.
But creating annoying Christians like that commenting would be a good bot technique to increase engagement.
That's true. But if you're not going to watch the video, just don't comment.
Right.
If you're not going to read the article, don't comment. Just move on with your life.
And if you have a different opinion,
nobody cares what your opinion is.
Be like intelligent about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, cause honestly, like the rapture, I know in the church we grew up in, they didn't believe in the rapture at all. And they played it off as something that's just made up by other, but at the same time, like, you can be respectful about that.
Right.
You know, if you don't believe in it.
Well, and I'm just going to be real with you. If you don't care enough about my opinion to actually listen to the video, I don't care enough about your opinion to leave your comment on my video. I'm just going to delete it. So don't waste your time and don't waste my time. Just stop. Okay. I'm just sorry. 90% of my job as a pastor is undoing the toxic crap that terrible Christians create.
We are off topic.
And
It gives me a new topic. We'll talk about that later.
I could go down this road, but
stop being part of the problem.
Soapbox taken away.
All right.
Mike.
Go ahead. Moving on.
Wow. You got me. That was good.
Sorry.
Okay, Phil, remind me what we were talking
I
about.
punched you in the brain with the energy comment, I think.
Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, so they have actually created these wormholes. We talked about wormholes and being able to see into different times. They've created wormholes that are small, but they can peer through and they can see a different time through these like pinholes. They can see a different time. Now there's a theory that it's called the bullet theory. If you shoot a bullet, like shoot somebody through this pinhole, you get it big enough, you could shoot a bullet through, the bullet would no longer exist because it didn't exist in that time. So there's a theory of that. They've never been able to test
you
it.
See in different times, but not interact with it.
I have two questions.
You can't interact with a different time because it already exists as part of the universe.
Okay. I have two questions.
You could
Two questions.
That was crazy in itself.
And that was Stephen Hawking that and his crew that pinhole wormholes they can see in different times.
Okay, question number one. How do they know it's a different time? How'd they identify that?
That is a very good question.
Okay.
I would have to watch the documentary again. It was on a documentary I watched, but
okay.
It was a while ago. It's
probably just a theory.
But here was their problem. They could not get enough energy to make the wormhole bigger where they could actually fit anything through this wormhole.
Okay, so question two that I had is why is it not possible to go through? I know you said like because it didn't exist in that time.
Right.
But like, okay, I don't know how to word this, but that doesn't make sense to me. And then, granted, none of this makes sense. A lot of this
well,
is
here's
not
the thing,
making
and
sense.
we've talked about this too, like demons and angels have existed for so long that I'm just going to leave that on the table. Have existed for so long that our little tiny little portion of knowledge in our brain doesn't even compare to the knowledge and stuff that God and the universe, that is out there. Right.
Sure.
And so, none of this makes a whole lot of sense to our tiny
little monkey brains
as we're trying to wrap our minds around it. Anyway, so back to the energy thing. Energy is related to mass and the speed of light, right? Equals MC squared. Yep. The mass of a black hole, right? Mm-hmm. The energy created by a black hole could actually create, these portals or things where we could travel.
You need 1.21 gigawatts.
Yep. That's the magic number.
That's all you need. I think a black hole could probably cover that.
So, what if what they're viewing is actually the spiritual realm instead of a different time?
Yes.
The reason they can't shoot a bullet into it is because it would still be in our realm, not in the spiritual realm, because they exist in our realm, not in the spiritual necessarily.
Ooh.
And what if, and now I'm taking extra leaps.
I was going to say, we're starting to get really far.
So extra steps of biblical. What if this is all just demons trying to get humans to rip a hole in the barrier between space and time, because that's how they think they could then attack heaven.
I summon Doom
Or
Guy.
think in the opposite direction too. What if on
get back to
their
heaven.
side of their realm, they have the technology to open up these wormholes, but they have more energy to work with, and that's how the demons are. And that's why they can't just full blown come into our world, is because they have to do it in small chunks, because can't create enough energy to just open a door.
Side theory.
Like, what is being seen?
Aliens.
Side
pinholes.
theory.
I think demons can.
Related to yours, Tanner. The idea that this is demons trying to, I'm going to just substitute a different thought from there. What if none of what they're saying is possible is actually possible, but they're just selling snake oil and trying to convince us that we can tap into that kind of energy and have more power.
Yeah.
And that's
another
how
angle.
they
make yourself
get
believe
us
that.
to agree to do
Yeah,
things.
we're chasing the imaginary carrot.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
find immortality. And when really all we need to do is do some praying.
If we can control time, we're basically God.
Yeah.
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 We could go to war
Yeah, if I
with
can
God.
harness
That's a
time
thing
and
that
space.
my mom has mentioned
Yeah.
repeatedly, is that like talking about like going to war with God and demonic entities trying to like recruit humans to do that with
and is
them.
God at some point just going to hit us with a Tower of Babel situation where all of a sudden we just lose everything?
Yes, he will. It's called the tribulation.
Yeah.
When he begins to pour out all of the seals and pour out all of the wrath and allow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pour out
What
the
if the
seals. I
tribulation-
heard
In
the
about
different
3
type
weeks.
of seals, like orf,
Yeah.
orf.
What if the tribulation?
I was
is our
thinking of
reset?
seal like kiss from a rose.
Have you seen the one
Just
where Seal's
to-
head is on the seal? And
Just
then
yes,
creepy.
seven
I love
seals come down and it's seal
Ooh.
and it's actually him and it's like he is the sign.
Oh my god!
What
And he
if-
just starts speaking it and he's like,
There is so
from
much
henceforth.
more I can tell you.
So thought. What if the tribulation is
my
our
gosh.
our Jinn particle reset?
Ow.
It's a thought.
Well,
I mean, basically,
we
'cause,
believe in
I
a
mean-
new heaven and a
that
new
wouldn't
earth.
make it non-spiritual.
We believe that
by any
from that
means.
point
It's
on,
still a realm.
Eternity, we
thing,
will exist
you know?
outside of time. So I mean, it's
I
kind of
mean, that's
it's a new
I mean, that
beginning
could
for
be a
us.
scientific kind of
'cause
angle on the same story.
There will be a new heaven and a new earth created and we will inhabit
Right.
the new earth.
Yeah,
Um,
and we won't be burdened
and,
by time or sin or anything. So
it's I enjoyed the book series more than maybe Courtner did.
corner.
There's a corner.
Courtney did was the
That
Circle
would've been the
series
time
by
for that
Ted
sound
Decker.
over there.
I didn't finish it. So
Mike,
I
you
probably
might actually
should.
like the Circle series. You don't read, but you could listen to the
I
Audible.
don't read.
The Circle series by Ted Decker. It's a really intriguing series of books. And some people love or hate Ted Decker. He's easy to read, so I like him because I don't read at an advanced level. But he has this book series, and basically you can read any book. You can start anywhere in the book, and it doesn't
Anywhere in
matter.
the series.
In the series?
Not in the
Not in the
book.
book. You can start anywhere in the series.
Yeah, I know.
And it doesn't matter. There's no start. There's no finish because it's literally it builds into
Circles?
itself. It literally is a circle, and there is like
circles.
you can read it in order that he created them, but it really doesn't matter because they just kind of go in a circle. Well, and part of the intriguing thing about that is that the way that it's the main character from the black because it's the green book.
Yeah.
It's confusing. But anyway, the main character, basically, he's experiencing two different times at the same time, basically. So, like, when he goes to sleep in one, he's awake in the other time, basically, so to say. And there's some things he can
Sounds
do.
exhausting.
There's some things he can do that he can eat certain fruit that
never
prevents
gets to
him
turn
from
your brain
going back to the other
Like being a
time.
parent.
Yeah.
And he's living that life in the different times. And one of the times was basically like pre-fall of man, basically. and then the other time is like current time.
Right.
And it actually has a lot of reminiscent of what we're talking about of refreshing the time and
well, yeah, that's
builds into
interesting
itself.
because it almost sounds
Because
like a literary version of that time is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way of measuring change and a way of measuring a story.
So wait,
know.
imagine this. And this is heretical. So just don't get at me, okay? People who are going to call me heretical, I know it's heretical before I even say it. But now imagine this. So Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Cain does his thing, and he talks about the people. What if those people are just people that God chooses at the end after the 1,000-year reign to go back and restart and repopulate the new earth, and it's just the same earth over again?
Yeah.
That sounds
Giant
awful.
circle.
Well, isn't there a mention of like the
wanna
chosen
do this again.
44,000 or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
144,000.
144,000.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember that. I'm terrible at
the
remembering
theories of
numbers.
what that is and who that will be, because there's conflicting theology
Right.
on who the
It's like, is it
144,000 is.
saints?
But
Is it,
so what if the 144,000 are the people that start the new earth and it's just circular?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when Mike was talking about it, because he talked about like the
Right.
12,000, like that's how far how far back they've
And it's
gone
interesting
to see
about
who else
how hard they
connected.
try,
And he
they
said
can't
12,000,
find
like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, because
So, yeah, that's-
my brain connected the two.
I was just thinking of like a few thousand years in the future, not literally at the very
Yeah.
end of people, the people who didn't get to live their life or whatever, say that they get to go and start at the beginning. That'd be crazy. But they would
would
have
be
to
crazy.
exist post-fall because the fall had already happened. And so they would already be fallen people. And so if they were to be the beginning, they would have to be post-fall. So they wouldn't be implanted until after Adam and Eve had sinned.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that would be the reason he'd be afraid of them, is because they've already had thousands of years of fallen sin. I don't know.
My brain's starting to lock up
I
a
know.
little bit.
It's heretical.
I'm
It's
on
You're
day-
welcome.
day
So
3
let's
of a
talk about
headache.
something a little bit less quantum-y.
Yep.
What do you guys think of 31 Atlas, 3I Atlas? You guys seen anything about that?
Heard a little bit.
A little
Have
bit?
you guys talked?
Fill
Have
us in. Fill us
you
in.
guys not talked about it yet?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
Can I?
I only
so
know
they-
little bits and pieces, and that's it. And I
So
seen
every
maybe
day.
one picture. That's it.
Oh yeah. So every day, this guy gets closer and closer and closer. Okay. Every
To
day
Earth.
to Earth. Well, I mean,
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking
I mean,
about.
it's not coming towards Earth, but it is get closer to Earth.
I didn't know we had given
So
it a name.
yes, it is
Okay.
the third interstellar object that has entered our planetary solar system. It is only the third, but there's a lot of weird things about it that just don't seem to make sense, making the odds of it existing like astronomically impossible. So, for example, the very first one, it doesn't follow our planetary circular alignment, which apparently is 1 in 300 objects don't follow the same pattern as our solar system happens. And a lot of times, so we think of our solar system, so we think of like the planets, we think of it as like almost like waiting,
Like a
like
disc?
floating on a pool.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not how it
It's
is.
not-
Like we're
no,
flying
yeah.
through,
It's elliptical, it's
space,
not- yeah.
while the planets almost kind of like trail the sun a little bit as we spin around it. So it's like it's up
Yeah.
here, and then we're kind of like floating behind it like that. So it's like
Right.
it's like sucking us into its trail. Like honestly, like if you're driving down a highway and a semi goes by and the wind kind of like sucks you in, it's almost kind of like that mixed with the plane thing. But anyway, so it's not following the rotation; it's actually anti-rotation, which is 1 in 300, which is not a huge. That's not bad odds.
Right.
You have just as good of odds of disappearing in Alaska.
No, I don't, because I ain't going.
Nice connection. Yeah.
Circular, bringing it back. All right.
That was nice. That was
circular.
good.
But then there's different things. So it's a carbon dioxide dominant, and its carbon dioxide to water ratio is extreme. So it's like pure carbon dioxide with very little water that we can see, which again, not impossible, but the odds smaller. So it starts to stack up these odds of impossibility. It doesn't have a trail. So its
Right.
trail is like very tiny,
Yeah.
which odds would be very low for something like that, especially as it starts to get closer and closer. There should be stuff coming off of it, and there's just not. the speed at which it is traveling is like 160,000 kilometers an hour or something like that. It's a lot. It's really fast. It's so fast that the moment we sensed it existed, there was nothing we could do to send something to catch it. We cannot send something fast enough to catch where it's going to be. So like if we were to send something out to try to catch it, like it would miss us by as much as it's going to miss the Earth. So we couldn't possibly intercept it even if we tried our hardest. That's how fast this thing is traveling. Again, not impossible.
No Armageddon. We're not
right.
We can't Armageddon it.
Impossibility, whatever. Then what it is emitting seems to be very exotic chemistry things. So it's exuding like nickel instead of water, so again, odds aren't impossible, but odds are low. So it starts becoming more and more, once you start adding all this stuff, it becomes more and more and more impossible. And it basically the where it would have came from would have been, they're estimating, and now this is the science part of it. They're estimating that this thing is older than our, galaxy. They're estimating that it is older than any of our stuff has existed, which is, I don't understand how, but that's what they've estimated it. Though, yeah, the term is the hyperbolic orbit, which is, so that's how they determine that it hasn't come from our solar system or not our solar system, but our galaxy or whatever, is because it doesn't have the same interstellar travel as ours does. It seems to be going the opposite direction, which means that it came from outside of our, and then the size of it is pretty big, but there's some other little things about it, like the heat signature, seems to be, it's coming from the wrong place. And so as it gets closer to the sun, you would think that the hot spot of it would be the part closest to the sun, but it actually seems to be coming from the furthest away point, which also weird. It also has shown signs of speeding up and slowing down, which minuscule, but it also will take a astronomically close path directly by Mars and Venus. And now, so the theory, the actual Harvard scientist, has theorized that because of that, and because of all the weird things, that it shows intelligent design, and that it was passing closer to Mars because at the time it would have been sent from wherever it came from, the theory would have been that Earth wouldn't have been habitable at that time, and so that they were joined by Mars. The place where they'd be. Or Venus, because of Venus's close proximity. But the weirdest thing in my mind is the point at which it would, the point at which it would be the closest to the Earth where we could see it the best, magically is going to be, it's going to be behind the sun. So we can't even observe it as it gets close. And then we're going to come around and we're going to find out if this thing continued on, or if it stopped, or if the sun threw off its orbit at all, or anything like that. And there are the projections. They can do all the math and everything. They project that it won't get caught and that it is just going to speed on right by. It's going to change its trajectory slightly and then it'll speed on out. But there's some weird things that have started to pop up, like, its appearance. It has horns.
Oh, no.
What?
That's awesome. So Tanner, I saw something pop through on my TikToks. There was like the conspiracy theory stuff that pops through my TikToks now because my algorithm is all messed up.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so I did see one where they were talking about this object and things like that, and they were saying, what if, and this is a huge what if, when Jesus was born, the Star of Bethlehem was this same or a similar object lit up in the sky, and what if this one is returning to light up the sky again for whatever?
Hopefully not the Antichrist.
Mark some sort of important event or whatever. And they're like, what if this is the return of the Star of Bethlehem? So it was kind of a stretch. But I thought, interesting time for this to be happening, as much as we've been talking about. But
Tanner, do you have more on Atlas?
Yeah, just a couple conspiracy theories.
And then, I got something I want to springboard into.
So there's the couple of conspiracy theories is that the CO2 is actually a stealth technology that it is emitting stuff so that we can't actually see what it is comprised of. That it is hiding in the sun's glare. So the way that it is traveling, it's like, so it's traveling in a way that it's doing it on purpose. And that's why we can't really get a good image of what it is. Because even this is just the image I showed you guys, which I'll pop that in the Discord. That's basic. From what I understand, it's just CGI of what we are seeing by the Hubble telescope. And so even the Hubble telescope's images of it aren't the best because of what it is emitting. Then there's the ideas that the nickel signals that we're seeing, that it's actually just data transmission. And so that it's being cloaked though, as though it is like, but anyway. And then
wouldn't the heat signature coming off of it being from behind it, wouldn't that be like whatever's propelling it?
Could be. And that would be the theory is
like, not rockets, obviously,
right.
but like basically the equivalent of that.
We tend to assume that our technology is other technology, and just because we would have rockets in the back propelling doesn't mean that's the energy they'd be using.
Right.
And so then the two conspiracy theories about it. So there's the dark forest theory, which we did talk about a few weeks back. The dark forest theory is that this is not the actual alien civilization. This is just a decoy. So whatever it is sent it so that we would then target it to look at it. And then they're seeing what we're sending out and going, oh, there's people on this planet. Let's send up the follow-up ship.
Sniper tactics.
And so they're like, dingle, dingle, dingle. And then we're like, what is this thing? It's weird. And it's designed to look weird. So so they designed it to be abnormal.
Yeah.
So it is. Everything about it is abnormal. So it's just abnormal enough that we study it to the second it leaves. And then they're like, yep, we can see that. And now there are
just
theories
parked in the backyard and we don't even realize it.
Right. And they have started to realize that even our radar, like when we send out radar pings to see the weather, radar is visible by up to 200 light years away.
Oh.
And so
that's crazy.
So imagine how much more the pings from our Hubble telescope are visible. If we can get them back to see them, that means, or not get them back, but if we're not pinging the, you know what I mean? Like if we're not the image, because that's just the light, but you get what I'm getting at. So if we can get a reading on it, then it has to be visible that far away if you can see into that. Anyway, so Phil, what were you going to say?
Okay, so going off of that whole idea of the possibility of this object being from another intelligent life source, I was listening to No Dumb Questions like a week or two ago. It's an episode from a couple months back, I think. And they were talking about aliens, and apparently there's a pretty well accepted theory like as to why, basically an argument for there is no other intelligent life in the universe, and the argument is that if it was there, it would have made contact by now. And the reason that they're confident about that is that the most effective means, I guess, that is widely accepted as the best way to make contact is basically to send out self-replicating probes they call them von Neumann probes is what they were talking about. And basically you send out a group on a probe and they land wherever they land, and then they like replicate themselves. They do the same thing again and send out more. I was listening to that and thinking I have a couple of issues with that line of thinking, and I had them listed here. Give me just 1 second. I should have my docs open by now.
Yeah, sounds like a virus.
12 where we can.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, and there's something else I wanted to bring up in relation to that, because there's a book kind of along that line, and it actually it's weird how close that is. But so the reasons that I have an issue with the von Neumann probe theory is that one, space is freaking huge, and so if they're how many light years away, how many light years will it take for another civilization to make contact with us?
Right.
And so we could just still be waiting on that, because at what point does that happen?
Right.
Second issue is that it can take a long time to get to the point of being able to send stuff out like that. Right. Like we are just now getting like kind of into the realm of that being a possibility. The other thing about space being huge is that like if you send out a probe from every possible location on your planet, by the time you get out 100,000 light years, there are some massive gaps between the lines that you've taken. And so even if you get to each landing point and reset and send out everything from every possible location again, it's gonna take forever. You'll literally never actually cover everything. You will never fill all of the space.
And your math would have to be literally perfect.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like the degree of accuracy.
Oh yeah,
because even thinking about the degree of accuracy it takes for Earth to send something to the moon, if we have, I'm just saying. but the degree of mathematics that it requires, like if you've ever seen the because they had all of the black ladies that were the mathematicians.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, but the amount of math that goes into that.
Great movie.
If you were to send something interstellar and to the level that let's say this thing is coming in, the math would literally have to be, and it would have to be perfect.
Spherical geometry.
And I don't think we're capable of that.
The
and not
further something is away, the angle has to be more accurate.
Right. That's
Right.
what.
Yeah,
That's what. Spawned
You could be
my thought.
off by 1/1,000,000th of a degree and completely miss
Well,
it.
and even
at
if
that
you're
level,
perfect, you're still never going to hit everything.
Or you
just
for
can't.
something that maybe you don't know about, like a a solar wind or something that just rogue.
And so,
like if there's rogue waves on Earth, maybe there's rogue waves of interstellar.
And so that was
that. It
my
could change the
my
trajectory.
fourth and final issue with this particular theory is that, dude, space could be dangerous. Like, you don't know what is out there. Like, if you run into another civilization that doesn't want to be contacted, maybe they just friggin' murder your whole civilization. Or, like you're saying, like a wind, something blows you off course, you run into something, you get stuck, if one probe, from the first batch doesn't make its target, then that whole
arm
sector,
branch.
You can't wait
whole
till they're
sector,
there
that
and
degree
then follow up with that's
is
another 100,000,000
missing.
years.
Yeah, and so
100,000 years.
and so now you're missing 1 degree in an infinite universe.
Yeah.
You just might not ever get there. Like,
What
there's a higher possibility that's
What
the case.
if these other civilizations have mastered quantum mechanics and they just quantum entangle particles in our solar system? They quantum entangle them, and so things happen simultaneously on their planet and this planet. What if that's an unmanned thing? It's just a quantum ship of some kind
That's
that
an
is here to see what is going on in our solar system, and it just exists in both places at the same time.
So
That's
this ship is just
Then
a
time and
quantum
space wouldn't
entangled
matter.
ship.
It wouldn't matter how far away they were.
So then, to go back to kind of what Courtney was bringing up, like kind of like being like a virus. Another thing that the guys on Open Questions was talking about is the idea of berserker probes, right? So like something went rogue, and now like it's just on a kind of on a murder mission. We just go and terrorize whatever we land on. So there's a book series actually you might enjoy. I got Ashley to read through the whole thing, which was an accomplishment. I enjoyed the heck out of it when I read it. It's called The Wasteland Chronicles by Kyle West. And what happens in that book is kind of like what's going on. Like an asteroid meteor big thing strikes in Colorado. And then this, like, kind of fungal looking material emerges from it and starts kind of infesting the landscape and spreading out. And it is like it's a virus type deal, and it kind of is taking over the world. That's intelligent.
I actually already had it on my TV.
Did you?
I did. I think I just put it on there the other day.
Do you need to read it?
There's a new movie
it's really
I
good.
watched on, I want to say it was either Paramount or Hulu, and it's called Annihilation. And I don't want to give too many spoilers because it was interesting though. So basically, like this similar idea, this meteor hits, and all of a sudden they call it the shimmer, and what it is as they look at it, it's like an optical illusion. It's like something looking through a prism, and so when they go into it, nobody ever comes back. Right. And so they keep sending military in it, and this prism is growing. And so it's consuming the earth. And so they're trying to figure out how to get it to stop consuming everything. And so they go in and they realize that like creatures are different and they're different. And what it is it's like a prism, how prisms can,
distribute light,
like distribute light
separate?
differently.
Yeah.
It's that, except for it does it to the DNA
Oh, that's great.
and stirs up the DNA. So there's trees that are shaped like humans because it locks into the part of our DNA that forms our arms and legs and things. So there's trees that look like that. There is like a giant crocodile that has like flowers growing out of its mouth because it mixed up the plant and it's trying to. So it basically was a probe that sent to Earth. This is how I imagined it, is that what it's doing is it is trying to figure out the DNA on Earth so that it can exist on our planet. So it doesn't have to worry about oxygen, doesn't have to worry about light sensitivity, it's trying to figure out which species is running the planet and become that species. It's weird. It's a weird movie.
Interesting.
But yeah. So talking about aliens, that was the weird. It wasn't like little green men, landing in New Mexico. It was like it came in the form of energy. So it wasn't even like a virus or anything. It was in the form of energy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Weird. Yeah.
That's interesting. So before we kind of finish, the last two things I wanted to talk about was, the first thing was, also, we have to be very careful because the bulk of, let's say, Americans, I think this is the bulk of worldwide, we have this idea of what we think we see in space because of the images that we have from like the telescopes and whatever.
Yeah.
But the reality is that what they show us that they see from the telescope are edited heavily.
Yeah.
And they're not pretending. They admit it. They tell you, but you can find the actual images that are not edited or not recreations. So the closest star that's not in our own solar system, obviously, we have an actual image of what that star actually looks like to our telescopes. And this is what it looks like. And I'll post it in the Discord when the episode pops up. If I haven't posted it yet, remind me. That's what it looks like. That's what we actually see. So that's where people whose theory that the outer space is actually like water or whatever come into place. Because when we see this star, it ripples the same way when we look at a light in water. And it is interesting to me, though, that I think it is, in my opinion, very manipulative that NASA and our government put out these first images of whatever star by the Hubble's telescope. This is what we see. And like, you can zoom in to the point where it's like insane and everything's so crystal clear. Not real. Completely recreated.
Right. Yeah. They add colors based on the gases.
And they change, and they literally will change it and make it look clearer. They'll make the images more defined, make the lines no longer blurry. They heavily edit it. And they tell you, like it is fact. They do this. They tell you that they edit it.
Yeah.
Why not just put out the unedited photos and let us just see it? Don't try to pretend like we have this idea of clarity. So looking at that image, even that image that we're seeing is still a very generated image of the 3-eye atlas. It's still a generated image. We still, if they showed us the actual image, we can't discern what we're seeing. So they run it now through AI and have AI recreate what the AI is seeing it looks like.
Yeah.
AI could literally just be making up whatever it wants, and it could be an actual spaceship, and AI is like, oh, no. But on the device, on the other end of things, if it is
like your AI voice.
How did they do it? I didn't know Mario worked for the NASA, man.
That's what I was thinking.
Mamma mia,
I like that you said that. I like that you brought up the ripples.
Oh my gosh.
Wirebacks.
Their explanation, I remember from science classes, the explanations why it's so blurry is because it's so far away and light travels in waves. Yeah. But here's the thing, light travels in waves because it travels through particles and through atoms, and there is none of that in space. If it's a true vacuum,
it's a vacuum.
It should still be a clear picture,
right?
Because even though it's traveling in waves, that wave shouldn't be hitting anything and blurring that picture.
This is why
the theory would then be until it gets within our sun's range, because our sun is emitting so much radiation.
Radiation, the radiation,
but it's weird, and so
atmosphere. But if you're
space is
taking
crazy,
it from space to space, if there's nothing in the way, it should be fairly clear.
And there's a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people who argue science based off of what they think science actually is. and not off of what actual science is. So when, and this is just an example, when flat earthers are arguing against, what's the other term? Globe earth or traditional earthers? I don't know.
Smart people?
Hey, I'll be honest with you. From being on this podcast and engaging with people who are flat earthers, I can honestly tell you flat earthers have done more research than 99% of all other people.
That's true, because they don't trust.
Because they don't trust it, so they're doing their own research.
Fair enough.
And so people who are global earthers or traditional earthers
I don't do research.
literally are basing it off of don't do your own research, basically. You're just, and just for argument's sake, you are basing everything off of information you know, but because of your bias to believe global Earth, you haven't looked into a lot of the same things that flat earthers have. Not you, but you as in the average person.
I mean, more than you'd think.
But the science, a lot of the science of flat Earth actually is good arguments. They just sometimes, and in the argument between flat Earth and globe Earth, when you actually have people who know what they're talking about, it's a different take. But 99% of people are global Earthers just because we're global Earthers, not because they've actually.
You got the right answer,
And
not
a
because you
big
did the
majority
work.
of flat earthers are flat earthers because it's controversial and they want to be part of something,
right?
You know, that is controversial too. But but I know what you're saying.
And there is also
I hear what you're saying.
a decent amount of flat earthers who are basing it off of and recognizing that, like, hey, our government does lie to us a lot. So this is something that it makes more sense that our government would lie to us about than what the truth is.
Right.
Basically.
No disagreement there.
Yeah.
And so if our
That's a
government
solid line
is
of
willing to
reasoning.
lie to us about something like Tartaria, why wouldn't they lie to us about something like Earth being flat if it were to point us away from God or whatever? And that's the theory. But anyway, that being said, it is interesting because I would venture to say 99%, maybe even 99.99% of the average person doesn't actually have a grasp on the science that they think they do, because it is this polished version of science that is given to us rather than the reality of the science, if that makes sense. Like you're talking about with the vacuums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to end on this, and this is a fun story because we were a little too in depth. So there is a conspiracy theory, and I'm not going to dig into it because people have done this and overdone it and done it to a billion times. But I was listening to the Y-Files, and Y-Files are fun, a lot of fun stories that he has. There is a theory that President Dwight Eisenhower had a secret cover-up meeting with either demonic races or alien races. And the alien races, and the conspiracy theory basically goes on to say that there are two different species of aliens, one called the Nordics and one called the Greys. And the Nordics came and they offered Eisenhower the opportunity to advance human race with technology that we would never even grasp the concept of. But we had to give up all of our nukes. The Greys came and offered Eisenhower all of the power in the world, the same technology, but we could keep our nukes. And in fact, they would give us even more powerful weapons, but we had to allow them to take people. And so
From Alaska.
Abductions and all of that stuff.
New Mexico.
And that Eisenhower took the second deal, and that alien species now lives in inner Earth. And they can travel through the Earth because they can basically rip a hole in space and travel from inner Earth to outer Earth, and they can melt rock instantly. So they have these big old bases set up underground and stuff. All of this is based off of somebody who was a high-ranking official who claims they were there, and who spoke about it clear back then because he was speaking about it with the understanding that this was going to go public, and then all of a sudden it didn't. But the weirdest part about this theory is that Eisenhower actually does have a day where he just is missing. And the official record is that he went to go get a chipped tooth fixed. But the problem is, two things. The tooth that was chipped.
Tooth things?
The tooth that was chipped doesn't need a nighttime emergency to go fix. And he didn't go to his his normal dentist to fix it. And the dentist that he allegedly went to, when you dive into that dentist, looks like a complete made up story. So there was a night that Eisenhower went with his Secret Service, the whole charade, went into the middle of the night to meet somebody somewhere and created this cover story. And then from there, the leaks are the ones saying that he met with an alien species. What if he actually did meet and he actually just met with demons? Mm-hmm. And they had to create this whole cover story. And that was the moment. And it seems like from that moment forward, our technology has American technology is just fast forwarded everywhere else. I mean, think about the B-2 bomber was invented in the 80s.
Yeah.
And we still just flew one over to Iran, flew one over to Iran, and neither China or Russia even saw a thing.
Imagine you're meeting
the
with
most
demons.
advanced countries on earth couldn't see something we invented in the 80s.
Imagine you're meeting with demons, and you know you're meeting with demons, but you don't want people to think you're meeting with demons. What are you going to call those demons?
Aliens.
Right.
There you go.
But
I think that's the end of the episode.
that is conveniently the end of the episode.
I was waiting for Courtney to give us one of those, well, so that's fun kind of moments.
That's great.
It was just, our brains are hurting.
Yeah.
We should probably go eat some food and have normal conversations.
And the Nordics, so conveniently, what if the Nordics were just Nephilim and the Greys were just demons?
The Nordics. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could have even thought he was meeting with two different.
And then our talk about like Viking lineage and stuff and it being connected to the Nephilim and stuff. That's instantly what I heard when you said Nordics. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've talked, I mean, not to go into depth again, but we've talked about that a little bit too.
Yep, we have.
All right.
Yep.
Well, with that, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all of those things. It does actually help our algorithm every time. Yeah, every time you listen to an episode. When you finish it, just like it. That's all you got to do.
Check out Dubby.
Just like the episode. Give us 5 stars. Dubby, B-A Bigfoot is the code. All those things. It does help. Share it with a friend. Think of the first person that comes to your mind. Share it with them right now. Do it now. All right. Do it. Thank you.
Love you guys.
We love you. Don't forget to be
your BA best.
And we love you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?